News since 5 as a volunteer crisis continues to be a problem for many nonprofits across the nation. One tri-state event is hoping to bring back a crucial demographic as part of the volunteer scene. WGEM's Claire Edlund is in Hannibal at the Senior Expo and is there to tell us about this year's theme and why it's so crucial.
Hannibal senior citizens are getting active and engaged at the 16th annual Senior Expo.
Well, ever since COVID, I mean, we still have people that are not completely comfortable being out and about. I don't know what we do about that unless it's having events like this, having opportunities for the people to come together.
Every year is an opportunity to come together here at Hannibal Senior Expo. And organizers are hopeful this year's turnout will turn things around.
For those that are 55 or older, and these are the baby boomers that are still active and engaged. I like to use the phrase used but not used up.
Harold Smith, who helps coordinate the expo, says this event is a great way to remind Northeast Missouri senior citizens about services they could benefit from or volunteer for.
We have our food pantry, our thrift store that run on volunteers. We have folks that sneak over from Western Illinois to see us as well.
That's why such entities like the American Red Cross has set up a booth here today.
In Adams County and Marion County, Lewis Clark, we cover quite a wide area, and so we'd like to have volunteers in all the different areas.
Blessings Volunteer Service says each year the expo brings an influx of much-needed help from volunteer senior citizens.
At the Cancer Center, they definitely need volunteers to help get some water or a warm blanket or just simply to have conversation with the patients while they're having their treatment.
Finding a purpose in life and giving back to a community they live in. Claire Edlund, WGEM News, Hannibal.
And if you missed out on today's expo and you'd like to find out more about how you can volunteer, we'll have a list of those participating agencies right now at WGEM.com.